Okay, I want to have a quick tutorial on what's actually happening behind the scenes of Eclipse, because some people think Eclipse is this magical environment. So in the previous video, we wrote a program, our Hello World program, which is here in Eclipse. And you can see that I created a Java project called Initial Programs that I put my Hello World program into. When I created that Java project in Eclipse, Initial Programs, all that happened was, I'm coming over here to Finder, all that happened was in my workspace, it created a folder called Initial Programs. So when you create in Eclipse a Java project, it's just creating a folder for you, okay? Then when I went into Initial Programs and I came up and I said File, New Class, right? And I created this class Hello World, all that happened in behind the scenes was inside Initial Programs, there are two directories, a source and a bin, a binary, right? In the source directory, it created my class file, my hello world.java. That's all that happened. So Eclipse is not a magical thing. When you create a Java project, it creates a folder. And inside that folder, it creates a source directory and a bin directory, right? Inside of my Initial Programs. Now, whenever I create a class file, inside the source directory, it creates a file called Hello World. And I could actually open this with, text edit, right? I could look at it, right? And there's my program, right? It's the same thing. So now let's see what happens when I actually go and run it. So when I was in this file here and I clicked this green arrow, it did two things. It compiled the program down to bytecode. Now, that's the first step. So where does that bytecode go? That goes into the bin directory, right? Right here. And the bytecode is a file called .class. So it has the same name as the class, Hello World, and then instead of saying .java, it says .class. So the first thing that happened when I clicked this green button was a hello world.class file got created, assuming it compiles correctly. And then the second thing that happens is it runs that class file, right? It runs this class file. So behind the scenes, that's what's going on with Java, with Eclipse. If you ever wanted to back up all your Java files, you need to back up your source directory, the .java. No need to back up the bin directory because you can recreate that just by compiling your code. So hopefully that's a little explanation of what's happening behind the scenes in Eclipse. So for instance, if you wanted to send somebody your code, you could find it by going to the project file you created in Eclipse, and then go to the source directory, and you could email them that file. You could share it with them on Google Drive. You could put it on a memory stick. You could do whatever you want. That's the actual code file, right? And then they could open your code file. They could compile it themselves. They could make comments on your code file, something like that. Hopefully this gives you a better understanding that Eclipse is not this magical environment. Eclipse is merely managing your .java file and your .class file for you, as well as many other great things. Like it gives you an editor that checks for syntax. It gives you the ability to debug. It gives you great ability. But the magic of the projects and the classes is really just managing files in Finder for you that you could do yourself, at the command line.